Hello dear students, welcome to EduHunt video lecture series, and this is Lata Krishna from Biology. We have already discussed about the first sense organ, that is eye. మనం చెప్పుకున్నట్టు out of 5 sensory organs, first one is finished, and we have also seen how it is useful for us and what are the different diseases or disorders associated with vision, visual disorders like myopia, astigmatism, hypermetropia. All these things we have covered in the previous session. Next sense organ is ear. Ears are also external organs, sense organs, and human ear is, what is the purpose of ear, function of ear? It is for hearing, వినడానికి. కళ్ళున్నవి చూడటానికి అంటాం. సో చెవులున్నవి వినటానికి అంటాం. The function of ear is to trap the sound waves. మనకి వినిపించేలా చేయడమే చెవు ముఖ్య లక్షణం. సో చెవిలో పార్ట్స్ ఏంటి, అండ్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ యూస్ఫుల్ టు అస్, అండ్ హౌ it produces sounds and captures the sound waves, and different disorders associated with ear and audio disorders will be discussed in this session. Welcome back. Human ear function నేను మెన్షన్ చేసినట్టు it is for hearing, and another important function is balancing. So it serves both functions, balancing as well as hearing. So it is a statoacoustic organ. Ear is a statoacoustic organ. If they ask a question like, what is the function of ear? They'll mention the options like hearing, balance, both, none. Then you need to select the option 3, that is both hearing and balance. Some of the students will ignore balance and straight away they put the answer like A. సో మనకి తెలిసినవే చిన్న చిన్న విషయాలనే కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ డిఫరెన్స్ వల్ల లూజ్ చేసుకుంటాం మార్క్స్. సో వినడం ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంటో, చదవడం ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంటో, ప్రెజెంటేషన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎగ్జామినేషన్ అనేది డిసైడింగ్. సో యోర్ గోల్ ఈజ్ టు క్రాక్ దట్ నీట్ ఎగ్జామ్ క్రాక్ చేయడం మీ ఉద్దేశం, మీ గోల్, మీ టార్గెట్. సో టు అచీవ్ దట్ వాట్ విల్ యూ డూ? బాగా చదువుతారు, కష్టపడి చదువుతారు, రివిజన్ నంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ రివిజన్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇదంతా ఒక ఎత్తు. బట్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ హాల్లో అటెంటివ్గా ఉండడం అనేది ఒక ఎత్తు. దట్ డిసైడ్స్ అవర్ ఫ్యూచర్. దీనిలో ఇప్పుడే నేను చెప్పినట్టు సెన్స్ ఆర్గాన్స్ని మనం ప్రాపర్గా వాడుకుంటే మన ఫ్యూచర్ చక్కగా ఉంటుంది. ఐస్ గురించి చెప్పాను, విజన్లో డిజార్డర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఫస్ట్ వీ నీడ్ టు rectify that disorders. We need to identify the disorders first and then rectify them. Maximum ఎలా వస్తుందంటే vision problem వల్ల we are unable to see the board. So first person who identifies the disorder need to correct immediately. Who identifies it will definitely solves his problem. ఎలా అయితే ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది అని గుర్తిస్తామో ప్రాబ్లంకి సొల్యూషన్ కూడా ఉంటుంది అని తెలుసుకోవాలి. సో దెర్ ఈస్ నో ప్రాబ్లం without solution. For every problem there will be a proper solution, and there will be many solutions, but we need to choose the apt, correct, exact solution. Anyway, this is also a sensory organ. ఈ ఆర్గన్ మరి ఎలా మనకి పనికొస్తుంది? వినడము అని చెప్పాము, బ్యాలెన్స్ అని చెప్పాము. అది చెప్తూ వినడం ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంటో, మనం ఎంత వింటామో ఆ వినిన దాన్ని మెమరైజ్ చేయడం కూడా ఇంపార్టెంటే. అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఫస్ట్ చూడటంతో స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది, నెక్స్ట్ వినడంతో స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. చూడడం వినడం రెండు కూడా కోఆర్డినేషన్ ఉండాలి. వాట్ we are watching on the board, what teacher says must be in coordination. మేడం ఏం చెప్తున్నారు, మేడం ఏం రాస్తున్నారు, madam what she is displaying, these are all matters. I am displaying human ear here, and I am explaining the concept of ear. So you need to focus both the sense organs at a time. You need to watch the board, you need to write on the paper, on the book, and you have to balance your brain with your vision at the same time with your hearing, that is audio. మేడం చెప్పేటప్పుడు వినడము, బోర్డు మీద చూడడము, నోట్ చేయడము, 3 things you have to be done at a time. ఎవరైతే ఈ మూడింటిని మన కంట్రోల్లోకి తీసుకోగలమో, సమ్ టైమ్స్ వి మే మిస్ సంథింగ్. మేడం చెప్పే పాయింట్ ఒకటి మిస్ చేయొచ్చు మనం. సో ఇమీడియట్లీ వి షుడ్ అది ఆ మూమెంట్లో దాన్ని వదిలి నెక్స్ట్ దానికి మేడంతో పాటు మనం కూడా సింక్రనైజేషన్ అనేది వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో అలాగే చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఒకసారి చెప్పి వదిలేము, 2 times 3 times విల్ రిపీట్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్. స్టాటో అకోస్టిక్ అనేది ఒకసారి కాదు, నేను 3 times చెప్పాను ఈ వర్డ్. దెన్ easily the student will get that word and he memorizes that word and he remembers that word, and also he watches the board. Definitely he comes to know what is meant by statoacoustic. So the human ear is a statoacoustic organ, that is for balancing as well as for hearing. So it serves 2 functions. The primary function of the ear is balancing. Example for fish. For fish, it is mainly for balancing. And human ear, our ear has 3 parts. What are those 3 parts? The first one is the external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. External ear, it consists of the pinna, చెవి, this lobe. చెవి ఉంది కదా బయటికి కనబడుతున్న this lobe. This lobe is called the external ear. It is called the pinna and auditory meatus. These 2 constitute the external ear. And the second part of the ear is middle ear. It consists of tympanic cavity as well as ear ossicles. These 2 form the middle ear. Tympanic cavity and ear ossicles both constitute the second part of the ear, that is middle ear. Third part, that is internal ear, it consists of vestibular apparatus and cochlea. Vestibular apparatus and cochlea together they make the third part, that is internal ear of the ear. So these are the three parts: external, middle and internal ears. External ear, each part has two subparts. Each part constituted by two parts: external ear by pinna and auditory meatus, middle ear by tympanic cavity and ear ossicles, and the inner or the internal ear by vestibular apparatus and the cochlea. Between the external and the middle ear, there is a structure called the tympanum or eardrum. Yes, eardrum, also known as tympanum. Tympanum. Telugulo karnabere baddalaipothundani antam kada. So whenever we hear a loud sound, we immediately closes our ears. Enduku ante those vibrations, those sound waves will reach the tympanum. So it causes disturbance there. To prevent that, we just close our ears. So between the middle ear and the external ear, that is between the pinna and the middle ear, there is a structure called tympanum or eardrum. And between the middle ear and the internal ear, there are two membrane bound structures called the oval window and the round window. Oval window is called the fenestra ovalis and the round window is called the fenestra rotundus. So fenestra ovalis is a membrane structure, and also the round window, that is also a membrane structure, fenestra rotundus. Fenestra ovalis and fenestra rotundus are the two membrane bound windows, membrane bound structures. These are present in between the middle ear and the internal ear. There is a structure between external ear and middle ear called the tympanum, and there are two membrane bound structures called the oval window and round window between the middle and inner or internal ear. Let us see the external part of the ear. The first part, that is visible exterior, is the pinna or the auricula. This is called the auricula or the pinna, which is the part of the external ear, which is a characteristic feature of mammals. Characteristic feature, and directs the sound vibrations, sound waves towards the auditory meatus, that is the next part of the external ear, pinna. Next part of the external ear after pinna, there is auditory meatus, and this external ear, the pinna, directs the sound waves or sound vibrations towards the auditory meatus of the external ear, and it also makes up elastic. It is also made up of elastic cartilage. Cartilage is nothing but soft bone. Cartilage is nothing but soft bone. If we bend the ear, it easily bends like this. So it is, even the nose tip also, we can bend it. We can just move it. But can we bend our hand? Only at the joints we can move. But if we try to bend the joint or we bend the bone, it breaks up. But unlike that, this is made up of cartilage, soft bone, we can bend it. The auricular muscles of the pinna are vestigial in human being. Vestigial is non-functional, that is rudimentary. And ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands are the glands present in the ear that secrete the ear wax in the lineage or the lining of the auditory meatus, that is the external part of the ear. and it secretes ear wax called the cerumen. Like we have sweat glands on the skin which secretes the sweat, and sebaceous glands which secrete the sebum oily secretion, and in eyes also we have lacrimal glands which secrete tears. Like that, we have glands called the ceruminous glands which are present in the auditory meters, that is in the external ear itself. They secrete the ear wax, also known as cerumen. And the ear wax is sticky in nature, and it prevents the entry of dust particles, even some kinds of pathogens towards the tympanum, that is eardrum. It also prevents like fungi and even bacteria and bacterial infections. After bacterial, it is fungal infections and bacterial infections are prevented by this wax because it is sticky in nature. It traps those dust particles and even small pathogens and prevents the entry of these pathogens. They restrict the entry of pathogens and they eliminate. Like tears, whenever dust particles fall in our eyes, immediately we get tears. With that tears, the dust particles will be washed out. In the same way, ear wax also, it prevents the entry of the dust particles and also some kinds of infections because of some pathogens like fungi, bacteria. Next part of the ear is middle ear. Before going to the middle ear, just have a look at this picture. This is the ear. This is the ear. You can see the external ear made up of pinna and the auditory meatus, and the middle ear consists of ossicles, and inner ear consists of cochlea and some other parts, auditory parts. So this is the structure of human ear. We have just finished discussing about the external ear. External ear is made up of the pinna, that is auricle pinna, and auditory meatus, that is here. It is the auditory meatus. This part is the auditory meatus. And then towards the middle ear, so this is the structure of the ear, external ear. It is made up of pinna and auditory meatus. Pinna directs the sounds towards the auditory meatus, and near the auditory meatus we have glands that secrete cerumen, that is ear wax, ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands, they secrete the ear wax called the cerumen to protect the ear from the infections and also from dust particles. So I hope you have understood about the first part of the ear, that is external part of the ear, which is made up of ear, auricle, that is the pinna, and the next part, that is auditory meatus. In the next session, we'll discuss about the next parts of the ear. Thank you.